I am starting my kitchen garden by planting my own seedlings. I have brought packets of seeds that I will be planting in my little garden. And here are the packets of the seeds that I will be planting directly on the soil. I need to prepare the soil so that it can actually be very good for the plants to come out. And so I shall be preparing the soil by actually making the place and making the soil very soft and very, very, very smooth. There should be no lumps, there should be no debris, there should be no roots in that soil. And therefore I have prepared this little patch of my garden, which is going to be my little nursery for my seedlings. And I am going to prepare this piece of land or piece of my farm by making the place very, very suitable for the seeds to germinate. And therefore, because when you dig the garden, they're very big lumps of the soil, I need to soften them, to beat them up until they become very soft and very fine. This will make the seeds to germinate very easily and to come out of the soil. And therefore, I am using a rake so that I can beat those lumps and beat them up and, just make them so smooth, and the soil has to be very soft and very, very fine. And so I am just beating up all the lumps, because no lumps should be seen. No lumps should be left behind, because they're going to make it much difficult for my seeds to come out. And I've also put some cow manure that we need to add because the soil is not very rich. This will help our seedlings to come out very well. And so we have just put the manure into the soil, which has already been refined. And now we are actually mixing the manure with the soil so that it's a well-mixed balance. That will make sure that it's not too fat or too fertile, because there could be too much nitrogen or some minerals for our seedlings, and therefore we're just going to mix it up so that it is as natural as possible. At the same time, we are beating it up so that it's very, very fine. We're also picking the roots and all the debris, all the trees, all the branches, anything that could be in this soil. We have to clean it up. It's got to be as fine as possible. I've also put some big sticks, or rather pieces of wood on the side. This is actually to prevent the soil from moving away from there. And since I have mixed the soil with manure, so I want it to stay just in this place. Just in case it rains, it means that my soil will stay in this little square that I have done. Also, there are many creatures that walk around here. There's the dog, and there's so many other animals that can walk around, and they can actually move the soil to the side. So I don't want this to happen. I want my soil to stay in this little square all the time, even when my seeds are growing. Also, this will show the people around that this is a different part of the farm. They will understand that it's a nursery before the seeds come out. Also, it will be good for me to be able to look at it and watch it and water it and, to weed on them. It is much better when you have put these little branches on the side so that you can be able to monitor it. Also, when you're planting or if you're weeding, you need to stand on them, which is very good because you don't step on the soil and you don't step on the seed. After I have done all that, then I am going to make some furrows. This is what I'm doing now with a machete or a panga. I am making some furrows, first I make a line, and then I put a stake on one end to the other end. Then I make a furrow with this machete. This little furrow is where I am going to drop my seeds. After I drop my seeds there, then I am going to cover them with very little soil. It's important for me to make these furrows so that they are on a straight line. It's important for me to make the furrows so that I can differentiate the different types of vegetables or seeds that I'm going to grow here. At the same time, at the end, I'm going to put a stake, and on top of that stake, I will place the paper or the packet so that I remember that this is where I have planted the spinach. This is where I have planted another vegetable. So in this little nursery, I am going to grow spinach, carrots, leek, and some iceberg salad. And I am going to plant them from seed, and I hope that they will grow and we will be able to see them as they grow. So this is actually a very good way to plant your seedlings, starting from scratch. And you have to prepare the farm very well so that it's soft. And so it's very important that you make these furrows so that you can drop all the seeds in these furrows, and then you're going to cover them with a little soil so that it will be easier for them to come out. And so I'll be doing this practically the whole afternoon, and it's actually getting dark in this part of Mount Kenya. It's in July, and so it's very cold. The temperatures are around 10 degrees, which is quite cold in this part of Kenya. And so one has to actually use a winter coat as you work. And so it's looking very good, and we have actually, I have actually now succeeded in making the furrows, and I shall go ahead and bring my seeds, and I shall be able to drop them in the furrows so that they will stay overnight, and I hope that they will grow and become vegetables that I can eat. And so it's good to use a panga, because then you really get a little shallow furrow that you put your seeds. Also, it helps to get a straight line, because you'd like them to grow in a straight line, because they're different vegetables that we're going to grow. So on the first part, in the beginning, we are going to plant the spinach. Those spinach are not exactly like the spinach we have in Kenya. There will be spinach that are little leaves. They are called baby spinach, and usually you eat them like salad. So you pick them when they're very young and you eat them like salad. You can put them on bread. You can make a sandwich with them, or you can just eat them with other vegetables like a salad. They're usually very young and very soft. Then after that, we're going to plant some carrots. Usually the carrots are not replanted. Once you plant the carrots now, they're going to stay in the same place until they're big. The only thing that we might need to do is to remove the weak ones. Once they start coming up, there will be a lot of them together, all crowded together, because you just throw the seeds and they're very small. So you can't really count how many seeds you're throwing inside. And so when they come out and they start producing some carrots, then you can remove some so that they are not too overcrowded. In that way, then you are going to get bigger carrots, and they will have space to grow straight and to grow big. And you'll be able to harvest very good carrots. And after that, the next 2 or 3 lines will be one of the onions that's called the leek onion. The leek onion is very good to make leek soup. Usually you can make leek soup with some potatoes or with some cream, and it's usually a very, very delicious soup. You can also put them in meat and other vegetables, and you can eat them cooked like that. After that, we'll have the salad, and the salad is just a salad that you cut and eat with your other food. You can mix it with cucumbers, with tomatoes, or with anything, and they will be good. And so we shall continue with our little garden and just see how it is going. So now I have planted the spinach and I've already put the little pocket on the stick that I put at the end so that later on I will know what I planted. And now I am planting the carrots, and I shall also stick the little paper at the end so that I shall know what I planted there. And later on we shall have the leeks that we shall also plant, and we shall also put the paper on the side. And later on we'll have the salad, and we shall also look at it and see how it's going to be planted. Salad is not very common here, but we shall try and see if people will like it when it grows. This will be the little nursery that we shall be checking throughout how they're growing. And we shall come back tomorrow and continue planting our seedlings and to see what else we're going to do with the little garden. So now it's very dark and I have to finish off and go home and continue tomorrow. Bye-bye.